chosen ones. This is who you will soon become. Even you won't stay right here. Don't scroll, don't skip. This is not just another message. What you're about to hear is something that will wrap around your soul like a blanket. It carries the love of God, the voice of truth, and a word meant only for you. Some may glance past it, but not you. You were led here, and what you're going to discover will not only stir your spirit, but unlock something deep inside you that you forgot was even there. You're standing on holy ground, and heaven is speaking into your heart. Watch till the end. Let these words hold you. Let them change something within you that you didn't know still needed healing. Type Amen if you believe. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. Heaven sees everything that's been thrown your way. Every tear you've cried in silence. Every battle you've had to face alone. Every time you chose kindness when others chose to be cruel. You didn't know it, but you were being shaped, not broken. You were being hidden, not denied. God was preparing something for you that would require this level of strength, this level of depth, this level of faith. And even when you felt small and overlooked, the heavens were watching. They whispered, "That's my chosen one." What you will become will not look like what you've been through. You're not going to walk around carrying the weight of pain anymore. God is lifting it off you. What once felt like your identity will no longer even recognize you. You are about to become someone new, someone healed, someone glowing with God's favor. Someone others never expected to rise. And even you won't believe how different you will feel when it starts happening. The shift has already begun. Can you feel it? The heaviness is thinning. The fog is lifting. You're beginning to walk with a quieter confidence. It's not loud, but it's steady. It's not forced, but it's unshakable. That's the Spirit of God within you, beginning to take its rightful place. What once felt uncertain is about to become clear, and your heart will beat with purpose again. For so long, you tried to explain your heart to people who weren't ready to understand it. You kept trying to earn love, not knowing you were already loved. You searched for belonging in places that only left you more lost. But God was never lost. He was always right there. And now, He's bringing you back to yourself, the real you. The one He designed with careful hands, the one who is soft yet strong, quiet yet powerful, broken yet full of light. Type 1111 if you trust in God. This is not about recognition. It's not about applause. What you are about to become is not about the world's validation. It's about alignment. It's about heaven's timing. And when God says it's time, nothing can stop it. Not your past, not the pain, not the delays, not even your own doubts. He has decided, and that decision is final. You are chosen. And that means heaven is backing you. Everything in your life that seemed random, all the disappointments, all the closed doors, they were all pointing you to this moment. You will not become bitter. You will become better. You will not be defined by what hurt you, but by what healed you. And that healing is Jesus. That healing is here. That healing is now. Your story is going to help people. Your scars are going to shine. The places where you were wounded will become the places you carry others through. What you are becoming is someone who lifts, who blesses, who speaks life, even when life didn't always speak kindly to you. And that's why God chose you. Because you never let the darkness make you forget the light. And even when you wanted to give up, you didn't. You may have cried. You may have curled up in bed and begged for it all to stop. But you still woke up. You still prayed. You still loved. You still believed that somehow God would do something with it all. That's what made you different. That's what made you a chosen one. The days ahead will feel like answered prayers wrapped in peace. There will be quiet moments where you smile and realize the storm is over. There will be open doors that once seemed locked forever. There will be people who enter your life and feel like home, like grace, like God sent them just for you. And you'll realize this is what it feels like to be held by heaven. Type 222 to claim miracles. Even you won't fully recognize the new you, because you'll carry peace instead of worry, hope instead of fear, joy instead of bitterness. And the glow on your face won't be from anything external, but from the deep love of God living inside you. That's who you're becoming. Not perfect, but fully loved, not flawless, but deeply whole. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not missing anything. You are exactly where God wants you. And everything that felt like a delay was actually divine preparation. Trust the process. Embrace what's next. Because what's coming is going to feel like a beautiful sunrise after a long, dark night. Heaven is not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be willing to believe again, willing to hope again, willing to receive. This next version of you is one who no longer shrinks to fit, who no longer hides to keep peace, who no longer apologizes for having a heart on fire for God. You are going to stand tall, walk boldly, and love deeply, because that's what chosen ones do. Type 777 if you trust Jesus. A little-known second morning practice once kept within CIA documents is making its way back into public view, and people are already reporting fast financial shifts. It takes only seconds to complete, yet it stimulates a dormant wealth center in the brain that most people never access. Click the link in the description and comments now to check it out before it's gone. There's something powerful happening inside of you right now, and it's not just emotion, it's a divine awakening, something sacred, something gentle and holy. You may not have words for it, but your heart knows. It knows that God is moving, it knows that something is shifting, and as quiet as it may seem on the outside, heaven is roaring over you in victory. Angels have already been dispatched on your behalf. You are not who you were yesterday. God is making something new inside you, and the world is about to witness what only heaven knew all along. You were never average. You were never meant to just blend in. God didn't design you to be hidden forever. You had to go through the valley so you could carry the compassion. You had to be broken so you could carry the healing. You had to lose some things so you could become someone greater. And now, the same hands that held you through the night seasons are shaping you into a vessel of glory. You are going to shine, not in a loud way, but in a holy way. Not to show off, but to reflect the love of God that held you together. Every single time you stayed kind in the face of hate, heaven noticed. Every time you chose faith when fear tried to suffocate you, heaven recorded it. Every prayer you whispered through trembling lips, every time you forgave even when it hurt, every time you said, "God, I still believe," those moments were not small. They were the proof that you were chosen. Because even when you were weary, you still stood. Even when everything inside you said give up, you held on. That's what heaven celebrates. That's what makes you a warrior in the spirit. God is not building a perfect version of you. He's building a real one. One who walks in truth. One who doesn't hide their wounds, but uses them as testimonies. One who says, "This is where I hurt, but this is where He healed me." You are going to be someone that others look at and feel peace. Not because your life was easy, but because your heart was refined. Because your love didn't die in the fire, it grew. Because your soul didn't become bitter, it bloomed. Type 1919 to receive miracles. The things you once thought disqualified you are now the very things God will use to lift others. Your failures, your mistakes, your seasons of doubt, they don't make you unworthy. They make you relatable. They make you real. And people are not looking for someone who pretends to have it all together. They're looking for someone who can walk into the room and bring light, bring healing, bring Jesus. And that is who you are becoming. Your identity is not in what they said, not in who left, not in what you lost. Your identity is in who you belong to. You are a child of the living God. You are His beloved. You are His treasure. And nothing can take that away from you. Not the lies, not the shame, not the years that tried to convince you you were too far gone. God says, "You are mine. I never let go of you." This next version of you will walk in peace that doesn't make sense. Peace that shows up in chaos. Peace that sits with you when everything is uncertain. Peace that reminds you, God's got me, and I'm not afraid. Because when you've walked through fire and still come out with love in your heart, that's when you know grace has touched your life. People will wonder how you kept going. They'll ask how you didn't lose your heart. And the only answer you'll have is, Jesus held me. That's how. You'll speak those words, and others will weep because they'll see the truth in your eyes. You won't need to preach. Your presence will speak. Your peace will be a sermon. Your joy will be a testimony. Your compassion will be proof that God still restores what the world tries to destroy. This season is different. Not because your surroundings are perfect, but because your spirit is finally aligned. You're not chasing anything anymore. You're not trying to impress or prove. You're just being, just breathing, just living in the presence of the one who called you worthy, even when you felt worthless. And that, chosen one, is where true transformation begins. God is not late. He's not confused. He's not overwhelmed. He knows what He's doing with your life. The delays were for development. The silence was for strengthening. The pain was not punishment. It was preparation. And now, the doors are opening not all at once, but exactly on time. Exactly when your heart is ready. Exactly when your spirit can carry the blessing without it crushing you. You are becoming someone who doesn't panic when things shift. Someone who doesn't spiral when things feel uncertain. Because you've seen too much. You've endured too much. You've learned to trust the one who never left you. And that kind of trust is unshakable. That kind of trust doesn't come from success. It comes from survival, from walking through dark nights and still choosing light. Type yes to affirm. You'll look back one day and realize that what once broke you became the foundation you now stand on. What once scared you is now your message. What once confused you is now your clarity. And you'll thank God not just for what He gave, but for what He took away, for what He allowed to fall apart. Because if it hadn't, you wouldn't have stepped into this version of you. The version of you that can hold peace in the storm, that can carry light in dark places, that can show up and love people who didn't know how to love you back. That can walk into any room and not shrink, not apologize, not hide but shine, quietly, boldly, gracefully. What if wealth was never about luck, but about a hidden brain signal that remained buried in classified files? This powerful frequency is now unlocking doors, drawing in new opportunities, and changing lives quickly. Thousands are already using it to attract prosperity in ways they never thought possible. Click the link in the description and comments now, and switch on the money-attracting brainwave today. You were not made to live small. You were not made to live stuck. You were made to rise. And even if the rising has been slow, even if it's been messy, even if you've fallen along the way, it's still a rising. And God is still smiling over you, saying, "That's my child. Look at them go. Look at them becoming." There is something sacred about the way you kept loving while your heart was hurting. About how you kept serving even when you were the one in need. how you chose to keep praying even when the answers felt far away. These are the things heaven does not forget. These are the moments that echo through eternity. When the world overlooked you, heaven leaned in closer. When others walked away, Jesus stayed right beside you. And now it's your time. The shift is not coming. It has already started. You may not feel different yet. You may still be in the same room, facing the same things, but something deep in your soul has shifted. You're not begging anymore. You're not trying to force open doors. You're simply trusting, resting, knowing that the God who started something beautiful in you will finish it. The pressure to perform is gone. Now there's just presence, His presence, and that's enough. You will walk into rooms with a peace that confuses people. You will face what used to intimidate you and feel calm. You will speak with clarity that doesn't come from trying to be right, but from being rooted in love. You are not trying to convince anyone anymore. Not trying to be chosen. You already are. God said it. That settles it. And now your heart is starting to believe it. Type 555 if you're ready to rise. The world around you might still be chaotic, but your spirit has found its anchor. You've stopped waiting for the storm to pass and have learned to dance in the rain. You've stopped asking for things to make sense and have learned to trust even when they don't. That's maturity. That's growth. That's evidence that you are becoming exactly who God knew you would be all along. People may not understand this new version of you, and that's okay. Some will miss the old you, the one who doubted, the one who apologized for shining too brightly, the one who tried to make everyone comfortable at the cost of your peace. But God is calling you higher. He's calling you into wholeness, into freedom, into truth. And sometimes that means letting go of the version of yourself you built for survival, the version who lived afraid, the version who stayed quiet just to be accepted. Now you're stepping into the version that lives from grace, not guilt, from faith, not fear, from love, not lack. This version of you knows your worth, not because of what you've done, but because of who you belong to. You belong to God. And that truth is the foundation you will build everything on, moving forward. Don't be surprised when you start noticing things shift. When things that used to bother you don't anymore. When you walk away from conversations that once drained you. When you stop chasing what isn't yours and start welcoming what is. That's alignment. That's what happens when your soul starts healing. When you stop striving to be enough and start living as someone who already is. This new season will require a new rhythm, not of hustle, but of rest, not of pressure, but of peace, not of proving, but of presence. God is not asking you to do more. He's inviting you to be more, to be still, to be aware, to be grounded in His love. That is where your strength will flow from now on, from intimacy, not activity, from communion, not chaos. You've tried to be everything for everyone, and now God is reminding you, just be mine, just stay close, just keep your heart open. That's all He asks. And from that place, everything else will align. The right doors, the right people, the right moments, all of it, in His time, in His way, without striving, without fear. You are becoming someone who trusts even when the outcome is unclear, who loves even when it's hard, who forgives without waiting for an apology, who carries light even when surrounded by shadows. That's the kind of person this world needs. That's the kind of person you are. And here's the truth that your spirit already knows: you didn't miss your chance. You didn't fall too far. You didn't waste too much time. God can redeem everything. Every delay, every detour, every broken road. He is not limited by time. He is not scared of your past. He's the God of restoration, and He is writing something beautiful out of your story. Type 888 if you feel that truth. So walk forward with quiet confidence. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are walking with the one who is. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep showing up, keep believing. Keep trusting that the same God who led you this far will never let go of you now. He's turning your scars into beauty, your tears into power, your journey into purpose. The world may not understand it. Some people may still doubt you. But heaven has already approved you, and that is enough. The people meant for you will find you. The blessings with your name on them will reach you. The healing you've been longing for is on its way. Not because you earned it, but because God is good, because He loves you, because He never left your side, even when you thought He did. Type 333 if you believe God is preparing something just for you. Within your mind is a small region linked to success and wealth, once concealed in restricted research and classified files. This newly revealed frequency is helping people trade financial stress for calm and stability, and God has led you to see this at the perfect moment. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brainwave now. You didn't go through all of that for nothing. Every sleepless night, every tear you held back in silence, every time you chose to stand tall when your heart was crumbling inside it, all meant something. It was never wasted. Heaven saw it all. God stored each of those moments like precious gems, not to remind you of the pain, but to crown you with purpose. You were being refined, not rejected. You were being shaped, not overlooked. And what's about to rise from within you is going to feel like peace finally getting its turn. There are people around you who might never know the battles you fought in secret. They may never understand what it took for you just to keep going. But God knows. He saw when you kept loving people who gave you every reason to close your heart. He saw when you worshipped through the ache. When you said, "I trust you," even though you didn't understand. And it's that quiet obedience, that invisible faithfulness, that has made you a true reflection of His love. You are not broken. You are not too far gone. You are someone God is raising up with intention. He has watched you bend, but not break. Cry, but not curse Him. Fall, but still crawl back toward the light. That's what makes you chosen. Not perfection, but persistence. Not strength, but surrender. You've given God room to work with your life, and now He's taking over. He's turning what tried to destroy you into the very soil that's going to grow something sacred. Type 666 if you're expecting a breakthrough. The world may look at you and see someone quiet, someone still waiting. But heaven sees a fighter. A soul that didn't lose its softness even after all the storms. A heart that kept its tenderness while walking through fire. That matters. That makes you rare. And that's exactly why you're being elevated, not in pride, but in purpose. God doesn't call the flawless. He calls the faithful. And you've been faithfully showing up, even when it hurt. This version of you isn't about revenge or proving anything. It's about peace. It's about living in the full expression of who God created you to be. No longer hiding, no longer trying to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. No longer quieting your voice just to make others comfortable. You've outgrown that. You've outloved that. Now you're walking in wholeness, in healing, in the fullness of your anointing. And no, it doesn't look like what you imagined. The path was longer, the nights were darker, the silence was deeper. But the reward will be greater, the glow will be brighter. And the peace, that peace that you're starting to feel, it's real. It's not the peace that comes from finally having answers, but from knowing the answer has always been with you. You'll soon start to notice things align effortlessly. The connections, the opportunities, the favor. They won't come through striving, but through surrender. Through being in the right place at the right time, because you trusted the timing of the one who holds it all. That's what happens when heaven leads. You no longer chase. You attract what was divinely designed to meet you right where you are. The ones who doubted you, they weren't your enemies, they were your confirmation. They reminded you who not to become, who not to lean on. And now you walk lighter, freer, with fewer attachments but deeper roots. You know where you stand. You know who holds your story. You know that your identity is no longer in what left or what broke. It's in what God is building. Type 444 if you feel that building in your soul. There's a future version of you that's already been written in heaven's pages. One that walks without fear. One that breathes joy without shame. One that wakes up not wondering if you're enough, but simply walking in the truth that you are. And even now, with all your questions, you are still that person in progress, becoming, evolving, shaped by every yes to God, strengthened by every no to the world. You will look back and hardly recognize yourself. Not because you'll be unrecognizable, but because you'll finally look like who you were created to be all along. The masks will be gone, the insecurities quieted, the self-doubt replaced by gentle confidence. That's the beauty of walking with Jesus. He doesn't demand your perfection. He calls forth your transformation. You are being raised, not for applause, but for assignment. Not to impress, but to impact. The peace you carry will heal others. The presence you bring into a room will shift atmospheres. Not because you're trying to be noticed, but because you're deeply anchored in who you belong to. The world is noisy, but your spirit has found quiet. The world is rushing, but your soul is still. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you powerful. Don't be afraid to bloom slowly. Don't compare your journey to theirs. This is not about pace, it's about placement. And you are placed exactly where you need to be for heaven's purpose to unfold through you. Even if it feels small, even if it feels slow, God does his best work in hidden places. And when it's time, he brings the increase. He brings the light. He brings the multiplication. You are chosen for such a time as this. Not because you were the loudest or the boldest, but because you were the most willing to be molded, willing to stay soft in a hard world, willing to keep your heart open even when it got hurt. That's what heaven calls courage. That's what God calls beautiful. Type 111 if you're ready to be everything God created you to be. A 7-second brainwave method, once limited to elite circles and tucked away in classified files, is now accessible to the public, and many refer to it as the 30-second miracle. Researchers say it stimulates a dormant brain center tied to prosperity and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it's removed again from the internet. There's a quiet glory settling over your life. You may not see it yet, but it's there. You may still be surrounded by the same walls, the same people, the same silence, but something divine has begun to rise within you. It's not loud or showy. It's gentle, like morning light. It's soft, like peace finally finding its place in your chest. This is God's confirmation that you are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are right on time. You are right where heaven needs you to be. You've walked through years where everything felt uncertain. You questioned your worth. You second-guessed your every move. You watched others move forward while you waited in stillness. But now, the waiting has not been in vain. God is lifting you. He is preparing a new story. Not just a chapter, a story. And you will step into it with grace. Not because everything around you changed, but because everything within you did. The way you see yourself is changing. You no longer look through the eyes of shame. You no longer define yourself by what didn't work, by who left, or by how long it took. You are starting to see yourself the way God has always seen you, chosen, worthy, deeply loved. And when your perspective changes, everything else follows. What once intimidated you will now inspire you. What once hurt you will now grow you. What once confused you will now confirm who you are. Type 999. If you feel the shift inside you, you are becoming someone you never thought you'd be, but someone heaven always knew you would be. That's the beauty of God's love. It doesn't rush you, it doesn't force you, it simply waits, gently guiding you back to who you were all along. And now, you're almost there. You've shed so many layers: fear, insecurity, bitterness, guilt. What's left is the truest version of you, the one that's soft but strong, the one that leads with love but walks with authority, the one who trusts even after the storm. Don't worry if people don't understand your process. It was never theirs to understand. What God is doing in you is holy. It's not for public display. It's sacred, it's private, it's yours. And soon, the evidence will be so clear that no words will be needed. You won't have to explain yourself. You won't have to defend your journey. The fruit will speak for itself. The peace will radiate. The glow will shine. And it will all be from God. The people meant to walk with you in this next season will not need to be convinced. They will recognize the anointing. They will sense the Spirit on you. They will feel God's presence in your presence. Because chosen ones don't have to shout. They don't have to prove. They just have to be. And everything around them begins to shift. That's the gift you carry. That's the power of walking with Jesus. Type 1414 if you're ready to walk in the fullness of His purpose. This world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs the real you. The one who has walked through fire and came out with more compassion. The one who has cried in secret and now carries empathy like a mantle. The one who didn't quit when it got hard. The one who stayed close to God even when heaven felt silent. That's the version of you God is about to release. You are about to see just how much your waiting was never wasted. God is not cruel. He never makes you wait to break you. He makes you wait to bless you, to protect what is sacred, to make sure your heart is ready. And your heart is ready now. You've passed the test. You've been refined. You've been made new.